It's time!
Hello, it's Casey Ferguson, and this is my second UFC predictions for YouTube, and it's going to be for UFC 213, and the first fight on the main card is Anthony Pettis versus Jim Miller. And Anthony Pettis is coming off of a loss, and he's only won one of his last 5 fights. So I think he's getting near the end of his career, but he's also fighting Jim Miller, who is getting really old for the sport and it's been around for a really long time. So I really don't expect this to be a super competitive fight, like top level fight, I guess. But I think Anthony Pettis might get the decision win, but my prediction is going to be Jim Miller with a second round submission. So the second fight is going to be Fabricio Werdum versus Alistair Overeem. And Fabricio's record is 21-6-1. Alistair Overeem's record is 42-15-0, and Alistair Overeem has some of the best striking in heavyweight division, and I think he's going to get the knockout over the former champion, but I think it'll be in the second round, maybe the first. But Fabricio Werdum also has knockout power, so anything can happen with the heavyweights. But my prediction is Alistair Overeem in the second round by knockout. The third fight, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this guy's last name, but his first name is Daniel, versus Curtis Blaydes. And Daniel's record is 19-7-1. Curtis Blaydes' record is 6-1. And they're both pretty hard hitters, but Curtis Blaydes has the better wrestling, but I think Daniel's going to be a little bit better on the feet. And I think that Curtis is going to have a hard time getting in to get the takedown. So I think Daniel's going to win by a first round knockout. So the next fight is the co-main event, and it's for the middleweight interim belt. And it's going to be Yoel Romero versus Robert Whittaker. And Yoel is 12-1, and Robert Whittaker is 19-4. And Robert Whittaker is unbeaten as a middleweight, and he's looked way better in this weight class than whenever he is dropping so much. And I think that he's got the better footwork, but Yoel Romero hits harder. But I think Robert Whittaker will be able to move around and stay on the outside and land his faster jabs, and he's just got faster hands than Yoel. So I think he'll be able to move around and with his superior footwork, and Yoel Romero's going to have a hard time landing on him. And I think Robert Whittaker will either get a late stoppage in the 4th or 5th round, or he'll win a decision. So that's my prediction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
So the next fight is the main event, and it's Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko. And it's going to be for the women's bantamweight championship, and Amanda Nunes has beaten Valentina Shevchenko before, and Amanda's record is 14-4. Valentina's record is 14-2. So in their previous fight, Amanda Nunes won the first round by a long shot, and then won the first half of the second round, and then Valentina won the second half of the second round, and then won the third round. So I think that since this one's going to be a 5-round one, and Amanda Nunes always seems to slow down as the fight goes on, if it goes past the first round, she gasses really bad. So Valentina, I think, will win or have a way better chance at winning this fight. And I think her stand-up is more technical. She doesn't hit as hard as Amanda Nunes, but she's more technical. And I think that Valentina Shevchenko should try and stay on the outside, especially for the first couple rounds. And if she can't stay on the outside, she should try and hold her up against the cage. And then I think wear her arms out, and then in the third and fourth and fifth rounds, she should really start upping her volume. And so I think if she does that, Amanda Nunes will gas and Valentina will win by a decision. And now I'm going to give my early prediction for Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I think that everybody that's saying that Conor McGregor has no chance is insane, because he's the younger, stronger, faster fighter that's been active. He's been fighting multiple times a year, and Floyd Mayweather has been sitting in his private jet going around the world drinking, partying, and opening up strip clubs. And I just don't see how a 40-year-old is going to come out of retirement and then beat a 28-year-old that's been active and in his prime. And Conor McGregor's timing is really, really good, and he has really hard punches and a lot of knockout power. And he's a southpaw, and Floyd Mayweather has struggled with southpaws. So I'm going to predict that Conor McGregor is going to knock him out in the 4th round. So that's my early prediction, and I'm going to be sticking with it. But I'm excited for that fight. Is Anthony Pettis versus Jim Miller. And Anthony Pettis, he was obviously once a champion, but it was at the weight class above. And I think he was champion at this weight class.
Looper.
So anything can happen with the heavyweights. But my prediction is Alistair Overeem in the 2nd round by knockout.
Guess what?
What?
According to Facebook, my true name is Massive Dick Poker.
That's my beautiful fiance.